Joyce's class. So today we have another awesome lesson on math lesson on time. Sorry about that. And it is titled Time to the Half Hour. So that's what we're going to be learning about. Our objective for today, boys and girls, students will tell and write time to the nearest half hour. So we got some important information to go over, but before anything, I'd like to get back to our clock. So hopefully you had time to do some of the practice pages in the book and you were able to get familiar with the analog clock. If we look at it, we remember that the numbers inside the clock from 1 to 12 mark the hour, and the shorthand is our hand, and the long hand is our minute hand. Yes. And if you recall, we said all of these little lines that go all the way around, all the way up to 60, represent a minute. So each one is a minute. And if we look outside of the clock, we see that it is counting by fives. So instead of counting each one of these little minutes, we could count by fives, and we could tell time that way also. So our analog clock, yes, lots to learn and lots to remember, but I know you guys can do it. If you recall, we talked about the digital clock, and the digital clock is a lot easier to use because it tells us the hour, and then it is separated by 2 dots or periods, and then it tells us the minutes. So all we need to do is read the numbers there, and it makes it a lot easier. So I said that we were going to focus on learning about a half hour. So if you recall, we had another chart that talked about important information that we might know, and something that was written there was how many minutes are in 1 hour, or how many minutes equal 1 hour. And how many, boys and girls? Tell yourself, how many minutes in 1 hour? Now, if you said 60 minutes, you are correct. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. So if we talk about half an hour, then we need to think about, half of 1 hour. So if 60 minutes equals 1 hour, and I know that half of 60 is 30, so 30 minutes equals 1/2 hour. 30 minutes is a half hour. And that's what we have written here. Half hour equals 30 minutes. And sometimes people refer to half hour as half past. So you might hear somebody say it is 5:30. If they say that, they mean that it's half past 5, it's 5:30. Okay, so it's half past the hour. So let's look at our clock right now. What time is it, boys and girls? What time does this clock show? If you said 1 o'clock, you are correct. Now, if my clock starts moving, and I'm going to go ahead and move it. So I'm going to move the minute hand, and I'm going to count by 5. So I'm going to say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And now I have a new time, and it is 1:30. Now, the hour hand is the one that we always look at first to figure out the time. And the hour hand, notice how it moved. It's about halfway between the 1 and the 2. It is not 2 o'clock yet. It is still considered 1. The hour is still 1, but I look at the minutes. It is 1:30. So my hour hand is between the 1 and the 2, and the minute hand is pointing on the 6. It's pointing at the 6. So it is 1:30. So let me just go back here really quick to some questions that we're going to review, because you really have to know the difference between the hour hand and the minute hand to be successful at using an analog clock. So our first question is, which hand points to the hour? So let's look at the clock and ask yourself, Which hand points to the hour? Is it the short hand or is it the long hand? If you answered the short hand, then you are correct. The short hand points to the hour. Now let me look at my second question up there. Which hand is the minute hand? Well, if the short one is the hour hand, then that means the long hand is the minute hand. Yes. And if a clock shows time to the hour, where is the minute hand? So in other words, if it is, this is what I mean by when I say time to the hour. It is 2 o'clock. So where is our minute hand? It is pointing directly at the 12. So if you know this, you are gonna surely understand how to tell time to the nearest half hour. So here we are again at 2 o'clock, and 30 minutes are gonna pass by. So it'll be 2:05, 2:10, 2:15, 2:20, 2:25, and now we are at 2:30. Now, if I were to just look at this clock and ask myself, what time is it? I'd first look at my hour hand. And remember, the hour hand is already past the 2. It's between the 2 and the 3. And my minute hand is pointing at the 6. So it is 2:30. So I could say it's 2:30, or I can say it is 2:30, because it's 2:30 the hour. Okay, so that is what our lesson is going to be today, and you're going to get plenty of practice with that in your book. So let me just go back to this and look at some more information that I have there. So it says, if a clock shows 2:30 an hour, where is the minute hand? So let's look at our clock again, and I'm going to change the time. Okay, so it's 3:30. And the question is, if a clock shows time 2:30 an hour, where is the minute hand? So let's look at it. I remember that the minute hand is the long hand. So where is the minute hand? It is pointing at the 6. Yes, good job. And if a clock shows time 2:30 an hour, where is the hour hand? So let's look at the same time. Where is our hour hand? It is 3:30 or 3:30. Where is the hour hand? The hour hand is between the 3 and the 4. It is not exactly pointing to the 3, and it is not pointing at the 4 yet. Please don't be mistaken and try to say 4:30. It's not 4 o'clock yet. Our clock is still in the 3rd hour. So it is 3:30 or 3:30. Let's try another one. Okay, so what time is it, boys and girls? First thing you should do, look at your hour hand. I see that the hour hand is between the 5 and the 6. It's not on the 6 yet. It's still on the 5. So I know that the hour is going to be 5. And then I look at the minute hand, which is the long hand, and it is pointing to the 30. So it is 5:30, or I can say it is 5:30. Let's try one more. Okay, so where should you look first? If you said hour hand, you are correct. And the hour hand is between the 8 and the 9. It's not on the 9 o'clock yet, on the 9th hour yet. It's still marking the 8th. And then the minute hand, where is it? It's on the 6. So it is 8:30. 8:30 or 8:30. So I hope you're getting a little better understanding of the analog clock, and this was helpful for you to understand the nearest half hour. So that's what we practiced today. Remember, a half hour is equal to 30 minutes, and sometimes we refer to a half hour as half past. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this clock down, and I'm going to ask you to take out your handy dandy math book. Yes, and remember, we're working out of volume 2. We are in chapter 10, and we're looking at chapter 10, lesson 2. So we have page 600, which has some useful information right up at the top. Okay, it explains a little more about half past. It shows it in digital form as well. I showed you a digital clock, but this one here is actually marking 2:30. So you see the hour there, the 2, and then the 30 for the minutes. So it is 2:30. Here we see the same exact time on the analog clock. The hour hand is between the 2 and the 3, and the minute hand is pointing at the 6. And if you see those little marks, that represents the intervals of 5 minutes. So they're counting by fives all the way till they get to the 6, and it is 2:30. So your job, boys and girls, is going to be to work on page 600, numbers 1, 2, and 3, and continue working on page 601 and 602. So once again, you will begin with page 600, which shows you analog clocks as well as digital clocks, and you will write the time. And you will practice with analog and digital clocks on page 601 and 602. So I hope that today's lesson is helpful to you. And remember, boys and girls, you can always ask your mom and dad to help you. That's what they're there for. So if you have a clock at home, or perhaps you have a watch, watches are analog clocks. You can use watches to be helpful in this lesson. And of course, your mom, your dad, your older brothers and sisters, I'm sure they'd love to help you. So thank you for joining me in today's lesson on time to the half hour, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you soon, boys and girls. Bye.